posted this meme a while back. Some of my friends made sure to let me know they liked it, but at least one told me that he thought it was trash. And you know what, Shane? You were right. It's not a particularly good meme. And after doing some research, it looks like it's a hoax. It's not even a good hoax, as it seems like there are quotes of people referring to a tablet with a quote just like this going back for over 100 years now. I mean, shit, I'm a media literacy professor. If I can't be trusted not to share a misinformation meme, well, what good am I anyway? I'm Philip. This is where I write video essays and where I put them, at least when my own major depressive disorder doesn't drop a stone cold stunner on me. Anyway, let's get back to the Assyrian tablets. The meme reads, an Assyrian clay tablet dating around 2800 BC bears the inscription, "Our earth is degenerate in these later days. There are signs that the world is speedily coming to an end. Bribery and corruption are common. Children no longer obey their parents. Every man wants to write a book, and the end of the world is evidently approaching." It's pretty classic, right? It reminded me of a Socrates quote that, since I don't have anybody else to read it for me, I'm just going to put up on the screen in a funny voice.
The children now love luxury. They have bad manners, contempt for authority. They show disrespect to their elders, and they no longer rise when elders enter the room. They contradict their parents, chatter before company, gobble up dainties at the table, cross their legs, and are tyrants over their teachers.
I love these quotes because they show us a side of human nature that is just as real today as it was in ancient times. Haters gonna hate, and youth and novelty are always going to have haters. Except, I regret to inform you, these quotes are at least partially both bullshit. The first one, our friend the tablet that started this whole thing, according to Quote Investigator, a source that we just have to trust for some reason, the first time that tablet ever shows up is in a reference in a 1908 bicycle magazine. Later, it gets repeated by medical journals. A professor of philosophy at the State University at Iowa named George Thomas White Patrick claims that he witnessed it in an Istanbul museum in an article he titled "The New Optimism." Okay, but what about that Socrates quote? That one is everywhere. Surely it's real. Well, sure, but the first time it shows up anywhere is in a mid-century book of quotes. It's certainly not present in any of Plato's writings about Socrates, and it's not like Socrates had a Twitter. Or anyone else has a Twitter now, for that matter. So what's the deal with these bad quotes? And more importantly, what the hell motivated me to post this nonsense in the first place? All right, well, first of all, while the memes are suspect, the idea is still very real. It does show up in some of Plato's work, but it's very explicitly showing up in Aristophanes' anti-war horny comedy. It's called Lysistrata, in case you're checking it out. All evidence does suggest that the ancients whined about their society at least as much as we do ours. Even if they never used the quotes that the internet has burned into our collective imagination, like a Wii Me into an '07 plasma screen. Sure, so why do we keep repeating the same vaguely uninformative bullshit? I think I can find a clue to that answer in the wording of the last line of our Assyrian tablet meme. Every man wants to write a book, and the end of the world is evidently approaching. This stood out to me in my first reading because of how close to home it hit. I mean, I want to write a book. I feel like I have things to say, but I recognize that the world is in so much turmoil, and I just got one opinion among many. Speaking up seems to be an act of hubris, because there are so many people more qualified than me to say or do anything that I could do. I mean, that's where the meme comes in. It tells us, since ancient days, it has always felt like there were too many books, and that the world was ending. Except it doesn't say that, because the quote is not from ancient times. It's from the 1908 bicycle magazine, and then it was upcycled by an Iowa professor whose name sounded like a game of Anglo Mad Libs. The idea doesn't come out of some ancient Near East publishing market. It comes out of the very relevant turn-of-the-century practices of mass market publishing. When George Thomas White Patrick said that he saw the inscription, it was in an article called The New Optimism, where he outlined his hope for a psychological optimism, which focused on the improvement of the world. The quote and the story of the tablets written on exist as ideological support for a moral position. The story has developed a meaning that feeds back into the original idea, which is basically just another way of saying it became a meme somewhere around 100 years ago. Sorry for the repost, I guess. This channel is where I've been supposed to be putting content for a very long time. I don't know how long it's going to be before I make something else. I don't know how active I'm going to be able to be. But I'm going to take this as kind of a challenge, as a call to action for me to be a little less shy, a little less slow to include my own content. Because after all, it's just a video.